Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to Inner Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. I heard you are filled with exactly what it takes. What you need is what you got. So if you've been questioning, do I have it? Do I got what I need? Yes, you do. You are what you need. You are what you need, beautiful being. You also are what this world needs. You're a remedy, a melody, and you are peace. You feel like serenity. You feel like peace. That's your vibe. And that makes some people uncomfortable because 1:44 on the timer, they are desperately in search of peace. They're desperately in search of this sweet serenity that seems to flow through you so naturally, so easily, so effortlessly, but they don't take into account the work that you do to maintain your peace. They don't take into account the sacrifices that you've made to remain true to you and to preserve your divinity. But that's okay. They don't have to understand it. But you're gonna keep maintaining your peace because it's a vital part of your path. Yeah, you feel like peace, beautiful being. That's your vibe. Ashe, what's coming through for this beautiful being? I'm pulling from the Empath Oracle. What message is coming through for this beautiful being, Divine? Shielding, protecting, and grounding. Yeah. Divine says protect your energy, particularly here and above. Okay? It's so precious. Your connection with the divine. It's so vast. It's deep. I'm getting water and air, okay? You have a deep connection with the divine, and your thought energy is priceless. It's what sustains you, your mental energy, your intuition. It sustains you. This is looking kind of like the spine, like, you know, that's what sustains you. It's the strongest part of you, your mind. Your imagination. It unlocks worlds. Okay? You can build kingdoms with your thoughts. And so, you know, there are beings that like to, when they see the value of your energy, they like to claim it for themselves because it makes them feel so validated and important to get inside your thoughts, okay? But ain't nobody living rent-free, okay? Mm-mm. Ain't nobody living rent-free. You have a very strong foundation. Rock solid, rooted, grounded, shielded, and protected. I've also got, okay, that was card number 4. Oh, I love 4s. So yes, protection. And 6, loving the self on all levels. I love that because 6 is the Lover's card in the tarot. Loving yourself on all levels, every single aspect of yourself. Do you see this here? It's like up there, it's a dove, okay? Maintaining peace within your thoughts is so important. Being very selective with what's taking up space up here, okay? Dwell on thoughts that feel like love, that feel like acceptance of yourself, that feel like celebration of your path. If thoughts come to you and it feels like harshness on yourself, criticism for yourself, I'm not talking about honest reflection. That's important. And as a spiritual being, I know you do that. But I'm talking about, you know, once you realize something that maybe you want to grow in this area, or you want to love yourself a little bit more in this area, or maybe a lot more in that area. Great. But be merciful to yourself. Give yourself grace. Grace all day long, all night long. And if thoughts come to you that don't feel merciful to yourself, where you're giving yourself room to just be, then you can change that thought. You can replace it with something that does work for you. Okay? Keep your heart light as a feather. That's coming from Anubis, Ashe Anubis. That's coming from Ma'at, Ashe Ma'at. Whatever it is that is weighing on your heart right now, that feels heavy, that feels like worry, Divine says you don't have to worry because you're protected. You don't have to worry because your destiny is beautiful no matter what. I feel like something's coming through with this. I want to pull some, let's go to the crows and see what's coming through regarding either of these cards. Thank you, Spirit. What messages are coming through regarding these cards? Exposed. You know what I'm getting? Because usually I get that somebody who's been doing some shady shit is exposed. And that's definitely happened. But this is a really good way in which I'm seeing this card. I'm seeing that your gifts are being revealed to the world. This is a really beautiful way in which this card is coming through, because it's time for your gifts to be revealed to the world. That's why Divine is saying to shield, protect, and ground your energy, because more eyes are on you. Eyes of all kinds. Loving eyes, curious eyes. I'm hearing dwelling eyes, like eyes that want to dwell on you. They look at you because they want to dwell on what you are saying. So these are beings who are very meditative. They want to contemplate what you're sharing. They come to you for inspiration. They come to you for elevation. There are some people who are drawn to you that are experiencing everything opposite of love right now. This card here, loving the self on all levels. This is coming through because you are mastering this. You know, we're always learning about love, right? But this is something that you have learned how to do on a very deep level. And this is something that you are here on this earth to share with other people, to love themselves through the hate that they are experiencing. 10:10 on the timer. There are people who are coming to you, looking to you for guidance, for wisdom, for support, and they are experiencing endings, some of which are very, very painful right now. They're losing things that need to be shed, right? So when we lose things that need to be shed, we're gaining opportunities, right? But they're at a point right now where they haven't experienced the sweetness of this loss that they're going through. It just feels very bitter right now. And they're coming to you for inspiration, for strength. And you will help them to transmute this heaviness, this hatred that they've experienced from other people. 11:11 on the timer. You're going to help them to open up portals to welcome in the abundance that is there for them. Yes, even in this dark moment. And so, with you being this source of wisdom, being this source of strength, it is so important that you nurture yourself, that you protect yourself. And you know how to do this because you have been through that darkness. You have experienced it. You've lived through it. You've been through the chaos, and you know what that feels like. You've been attacked. And so there is no one better to radiate these healing frequencies to those who are seeking your wisdom. 12:12 on the timer. You are helping people to have hangman moments, like in the tarot. They're having a shift in their perspective. It's like I see people coming to you who have been on a long journey. You know, they've got their staff in their hand. It's like, it feels old school, like an old school vibe, like a long journey where they're making some long trek, you know? And they're tired and they are worn down and they are hungry and they are thirsty and they are coming to you for nourishment. And your words, your vibe nourishes them. And it helps them to take that negative energy that they've been carrying and transmute it by seeing their experience from a different perspective. You help people to go through endings, but to see those endings as a bright new beginning, as an opportunity for something so right for them. We're in minute 13, so this is the energy of death. You help people to process endings that would be otherwise extremely painful. Nothing but pain. That's what I'm getting. Like, a lot of times when people find whatever it is that you create, your content, your words, your music, your whatever it is that you create so beautifully, your crafts. For some of you, you create things that are put on the body, or for some of you, you make people beautiful. You make them feel beautiful. You help them get in touch with their beauty. Whatever it is that you do. You help people to experience joy. So, in a very beautiful way, you're being exposed, revealed, I like to say. Yeah. So, you feel like family to me, beautiful being, because your direction is that of the night. You might be a night owl. 14, we just have 14:44 on the timer. You might be a night owl. You work with the night energy. It's like, you see how this one in the direction card, is that card 12? See, I was just talking about the Hanged Man. You give people a different perspective on life. I'm hearing, turn that frown upside down. That's literally what you do for people. You might not say that, or you might, but like, that's what you do for people, is you help them to see pain from a different angle. Because of you, they see pain as an opportunity. Okay, so your direction is upward. You help people to ascend, but you do that through dark energy. Yeah. Yeah. You might work with the crossroads. You might work with energies such as Lilith, Hecate, Oya. Just energies that don't necessarily, that aren't traditionally associated with the light, but yet they help us to ascend. Okay? In other words, you embrace the entire spectrum of energy. You know that in order to heal, we must recognize it all. Okay? You're not afraid of the darkness. And don't ever let anybody make you think that there's something wrong with that. I'll never forget, it was a comment I had like a long time ago. And somebody was like, I think it was actually a Lilith sound bath. And they said, all of your stuff is so dark and da-da-da-da-da. You know, it's like, and your point is. But some people in the spiritual community just don't, you know, they only want to see the light. And that's okay. That's where they are right now. That's all right. But some of us truly embrace the entire spectrum. And personally, I don't really, there is no completion without seeing the entire spectrum and without honoring it all. Okay? You are a star. We just had 1717 on the timer. We're in minute 17. You were meant to shed light, shed your light in the darkness. I see you also as a beacon of light, like an lighthouse. When people can't find their way as they're navigating the darkness, they look to your words, they look to your wisdom to help them. I'm hearing that you save lives. For some of you, you work with a population that has really been through so much. I keep getting this energy of working with the homeless population, and that makes me want to cry. Thank you, Spirit. I am a Cancerian, okay? The tears do flow. But there's something so beautiful about anyone who chooses to honor beings who are so often overlooked and who are so often discarded within our society. So if that applies to you, and you might not work with the homeless population, but you just may have a plan to work with them, or to get a foundation started, or to do something. Divine says, whatever you have in the works, carry it through, see it through. Okay? What you do is so precious, and it's needed. It's needed, okay? Also, I'm getting that for some of you, you might work with people who have been on the street. Okay, this could be people who have done sex work. You have a very strong desire to support people through that because they have been forced to run. This is what I'm getting. You are seeking to help people who have felt forced to run away from the people who were supposed to help them, such as law enforcement, or they have been afraid of people who were supposed to help them, but they knew that they were corrupt. You truly want to be that source of hope and support that makes a difference. That's what I'm getting there with the Knight card, you know? I'm seeing people walking the streets at night. Routine and observation. There's something that you're allowing to become a part of your life, your daily life, where you are tuning into what someone needs, and you're getting this information from the divine. Okay? You're getting this information from the divine. So sometimes when we need to help a certain population, we go straight to the population, right? We might interview people, ask them, what do you find is needed here or there? Or, okay, now there's a time for that, but I get that what you're really doing here is you are connecting with the divine, meditating, and you're going to the astral realm to see what is needed in order for you to achieve your soul's purpose, and to do this on a daily basis. It's like you are really serious about your soul's work. You're moving from a state where you were planning, you were talking, you were, even if you were talking to yourself, okay? It's a thing. It helps us process our thoughts, okay? And there's nothing wrong with it. You may have just been speaking out your thoughts, your plans. You may have been jotting things down. You may have been just brainstorming, okay? But now you're closing your eyes and you're allowing spirit to reveal to you whatever is needed for you to tap into, to get information, for you to make your dreams a reality. Because whatever your soul's work is, that is also your dream. And so the answer as to how to manifest your dreams is on the astral. As you connect with spirit, as you get quiet and close your eyes and allow your thoughts to take you to a very divine space, you're going to get downloads. And I feel like you've already been doing this, okay? Another part of this is actually observing the population that you're going to be helping, whether it's, maybe you're a tarot reader and you're going to be taking or making observations, seeing what you want to implement in your practice. Or if you are helping people who have been displaced and don't have a home, you might be interviewing some people or asking people who have helped this population of people, what can I do, you know, doing actual research. But now you're doing astral research. You're connecting with your higher self to get the downloads that you need. Because you're serious about this. You're serious about your soul's work. Okay, so one more. Okay. Ooh, are you ready to soar? Yes, you are. I feel like you're already soaring, beautiful being. Where you soar right now is your sacred space. There might be a part of you that's like, wait, I gotta do like real work. You know, because in the Matrix we feel, because we've been programmed to feel this way, to think this way, that real work looks like stress. Real work looks like pushing papers around. Real work looks like sitting at a computer, clickety, 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 clack, clack, clack. Real work looks like, I don't know, what else? Doing the most, right? But the type of work that you do And the way you soar as you do your real work is when you go into your sacred space. Sometimes your sacred space is your meditation area, wherever you are when you meditate. It could be the bathtub. You're doing work, you're meditating, you're connecting. Your sacred space could be when you are out and about helping your population, or when you are uploading some content. A social media platform could be your sacred space sometimes. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you're rewriting your recipe for success. The way that you will achieve success is not necessarily the way that the Matrix has told you that you will. In order for you to achieve success on a social media platform, it might not be all those top videos that tell you how to get a viral video. You know, that might not be the answer for you. You might have a video that goes viral where you're just like in your car on your way to the park, and like the vibe is just so beautiful. It's like, you know, and there's no editing. The lighting might not have been perfect. You might not have had your favorite outfit on. It doesn't matter. Like, you are the vibe. The vibe is you. You bring that sacred energy to what you do. Okay, so you're rewriting your recipe for success. It's not necessarily what people have told you to do. It might not entail Excel spreadsheets or PowerPoints or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that used to be my world when I was a teacher. But now I teach in a different way. I connect to spirit in a different way, you know, in a different environment. So you're creating your success. And it's inside of you. You're just allowing it to unfold. Okay? Thank you, Spirit. Okay, they're saying the owls. I'm always happy to go to the owl deck, Spirit. Thank you, Divine. You're coming out of a time of burden. Okay, I just saw Ten of Wands was at the bottom of the deck, and I just pulled it. Thank you, Spirit. What's coming through? Outer Camino. I just looked at my road opener incense. Roads are open for you. And there's been a tower that opened these roads, that opened these paths for you. Ashe. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so this Ten of Wands, there was like a time where you were so burdened because there was chaos that put so much weight on your back that it was like, how can I even continue on this journey? How am I supposed to do this, Spirit? Your journey felt impossible for a while. Okay? I'm seeing that, like I'm seeing in my mind's eye, the Seven of Pentacles. It feels like this went on for a very long time. That's how you got to the 10, because that was a lot of burden that you were carrying for a long time. Justice came along. Okay? Spirit said it's time. Something must be done. And it's actually like, you know, a lot of people want to avoid the tower, but this tower was exactly what was needed to break something up. Because something that needed to crumble, crumbled. There needed to be a shift of power. The wrong people had tapped into your energy for too long. They were burdening you. And so this had to crumble. This web of lies, of deceit, of control. There was a group that experienced conflict because of the conflict that they put you through, because of the burdens that they put you through. And that's exactly what's going on now. This is all so that you can do your soul's work. 30-30 on the timer. This is relevant because Divine is saying that they want you to rest assured that they are clearing the way. That's why my eyes went to the Abre Camino, the road opener. Divine is working fervently. Your ancestors, your spirit allies are working fervently to clear the paths for you to do your soul's work. That's how important you are. That's how important your divinity is, because you don't take it lightly. You're here to do what you're here to do. You know what I mean? And so because of your commitment to spirit, spirit is committed to you, and to seeing that you have every opportunity that you need in order to do your soul's work. Okay? So there is a troublesome group. This Three of Cups is here. There's been a tower that they've experienced, and now they're facing conflict. This is a group that wanted to cause you trouble and mayhem and all sorts of obstacles. They thought your path and purpose was a game. But now they're in conflict. They feel defeated. They feel defeated. And anyone who opposes you on your path, as long as you remain aligned with your divine purpose, as long as you remain focused on the work that you are here on this earth to do, any being that opposes you and creates, knowingly or intentionally creates obstacles for you, will experience destruction. Pure, utter destruction. And the purpose for that destruction is not for spirit to be like, hey, that's what you get for messing with a chosen one. It's not even like that. The reason why that happens, that destruction, is to reroute them so that they can become aligned with what's meant for them. It's always meant for the highest good. It's always meant for the highest good. It's always meant. I just looked at the Saturn poster. Whatever karmic lesson it is that a being needs, that is the lesson that they will get. What they do with that lesson is up to them. They can keep going 3, 3, 3, 3. This is definitely coming through for this group. Okay, it feels like a group of 3 or more, but they can keep facing that lesson over and over again and keep hitting their head against the wall, causing destruction for themselves. Or they can get the lesson and align. It's up to them. But Divine just wants you to know that you are protected. Okay? So now that Divine has cleared this way for you, which, by the way, this is coming through, that not only have you, by doing your soul's work, created opportunities for karmic beings around you to have an opportunity to learn and to align with what's truly meant for them and to stop wasting their time and energy, but you have also healed ancestral wounds that you were carrying in your DNA. Your ancestors are so very proud of you, beautiful being, because a part of the reason why the chaos that you went through, a part of the reason why this tower felt so difficult, this was not just any old tower. Because as there was a crumbling for these Three of Cups, there was really a crumbling that you went through as well, where you may have felt that some things shifted in your world as well. But the reason for that was for you to heal whatever wounds you had been carrying as a result of trauma that your ancestors either did not know how to heal, did not have the opportunity to heal, or did not have access to the resources that they needed in order to heal. Think about all the opportunities that we have. We've got the internet. We can learn so much spiritually. We can connect with people spiritually. We can do so much. There are a lot more distractions as well. But we have access to so much more empowering knowledge than we had, that our ancestors had access to back in the day. You know what I mean? So, more distractions, but also more opportunities to achieve awareness. So, that trauma that had been stored inside your DNA, some people call it generational curses, okay? But you have healed those wounds. You have cleared that karma. You have cleansed that energy. And your ancestors are so grateful to you for that. And that's one reason why you are so divinely protected. It's because your ancestors acknowledge what you have done, not only for yourself, not only for your legacy, your descendants, but also for your ancestors. So now that the road has been cleared, you've got the Ace of Wands here, you're ready to create. Okay, you've got something new that's happening. This is creation, this is passion. You've got a Ten of Cups here. A Queen of Pentacles and a King of Wands. I do see harmonious connections here. Emotional fulfillment, spiritual connection, spiritual bonds. Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups. Divine unions. Divine fulfillment. Pleasure. Peace. With the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands, for some of you, these are aspects of yourself, right? But because, okay, so aspects of yourself, this is abundance and fulfillment, stability within your finances, having enough, having more than enough. And also, I'm getting being a master of your craft, being a leader, being energized to do what matters. But also for some of you, I'm seeing this as a divine love union. Only take that if it resonates, okay? But those of you who are manifesting a bond, now this could be within a foundation or a business that you're creating, all right? You could be working with someone who offers very balanced energy, very inspired energy. But I am definitely seeing a king and a queen here. Doesn't matter the gender, okay? But there's masculine and feminine energy here. And it's within this Ten of Cups. So it is balanced. Let me just pull a card on this with the love messages. Let's see what this brings through. This bond between the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands. Thank you, Spirit. What's coming through with this? Lovers, okay. A passionate connection, shared vision and values, twin flame, a spiritual connection between you and your twin flame. If a relationship is not something that you are wanting to manifest, then this is a divine union within yourself, where you are content. And even if this is with you coming together with another being, for this type of connection that I'm seeing, you are balanced and divinely united within yourself anyway. Okay? So the happiness within self, the peace and joy and contentment within yourself comes anyway. But some of you are open to manifest a relationship. And for those of you who that applies to, this is definitely coming through. Forgiveness through mutual understandings. There's something that's in the past now, and it's being left there. A lesson has been learned. This was something that needed to be achieved as far as understanding. I'm also getting a forgiveness of self. Whatever was hindering a person from truly accepting who they are, in order to free their heart energy so that they could truly rest as they unite with another person, like be at peace. 4141 on the timer. I'm seeing that there was a worry. There was a worry that someone has that they realize that they don't need to have. There was an unnecessary worry. Someone has gained wisdom and understanding, and this has happened on an inner level within themselves. And so it's creating a beautiful bond between two people. It's facilitating a beautiful bond between two people. Knowledge gained through experiences or from a wise counselor. There could be someone who somebody sought advice from. Someone wise. Someone who had some experience. I'm getting that they just said something so like seemingly simple, but it really broke something down for a person and they had an epiphany. Yeah, they had a shift in their way of thinking. Or this is currently going on. This could be past, present, future. One more, Spirit. Celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. It is time to celebrate. Look, and with that 10 of Cups, absolutely. Of course we celebrating here. Look at that. Divine says you give so much. It is time for you to receive. It's time for you to be nurtured and to receive. Thank you, Divine. Okay, they said to pull an LaShawn card. And of course, it's like towards the bottom. Well, the middle. All right. Thank you, Mama LaShawn. Let's close with a message from our beautiful Orisha of love, abundance, and sweetness. I just bought some honey today, so I might have to give her an offering. But yeah, you can give her an offering of honey. Make sure you taste it first. That's one thing about Mama LaShawn. Before you give her honey, you got to taste it first. There's a story behind that, but in a story about her, there was somebody who gave her honey, but it was poisoned. And so whenever she receives an offering of honey, she asks you to taste it first, okay? So, Ashe Mama LaShawn, what's coming through All right, you are manifesting. This is card 11. So portals are open for you to receive. For you to receive. That keeps coming through. It's time for you to receive because you give so much life. You give so much life. Your life's work involves giving. That's what I'm getting. Is that your life's purpose, your life's mission involves you giving, creating and giving. So we see here, she's creating life. You're creating and you're giving. So allow yourself to receive, to rest and to receive. And also that message is coming right back around that your work sometimes will look like you're resting, and that's okay. Sometimes the work that you'll do for your life's purpose, you'll be meditating. You working. You know what I mean? Like, we're not doing the most anymore. It's just about doing what we want to do, what we are driven to do, what we are here to do. You know? We're not overworking ourselves. Okay? All right, manifesting birth. Manifestation, intention, and abundance. I manifest with grace and ease is the mantra. I manifest with grace and ease. Ashe. Initiation of honey. Yes, congrats. You've pulled Oshun manifesting birth. This is a powerful sign that you're in a prime position to turn your dreams into reality, beautiful being. It is law that thoughts become things. And she's here to remind you that you co-create your world through intention and action. Clear your mind. Imagine your goals fulfilled and then follow your guidance. Examine your thoughts and beliefs. Are they in alignment with your goals? If not, now is the time to make a change. Watch out for self-imposed limitations. Take consistent steps toward your vision and remain open to unexpected opportunities. I'm getting that there's going to be a lot of those. You're just going to meet people and it's going to be like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like, you're going to realize, wait, this is an opportunity. And that's why you can rest, because you're aligned. When you're aligned, you ain't got to do the most. The most will come to you. And that's the beauty of loving yourself and keeping your vibe high, nurturing your vibe, regulating your emotions so that you're in alignment with what's meant to come to you and not tuned into somebody else's program, somebody else's timeline. You remain divinely focused. And that's where joy comes in. Okay? And an ease, like an easy flow. The divine often responds in ways that we least expect, so stay receptive and willing to shift easily. Pray, intend, and declare your wishes. Do the work, but also allow room for the magic to happen. And pray, it doesn't mean you have to pray in the traditional sense. You can declare things to be so. You can just connect with the divine. You can talk with your ancestors. You can speak to the universe, however you connect, okay? Manifestation is a dance with the divine. Release your expectations and trust. You are in a powerful phase of creation and realization. Your thoughts, intentions, and actions are aligned in such a way that manifestation is not just possible, it is happening. Ashe. That's your magic. That's your divine alignment. And it's beautiful. I'm so grateful that you tuned in, beautiful being. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I hope that this message brought through some clarity, some insight, some support, and some good vibes. And I love you. And I wish you peace. I wish you joy. And I wish you so many blessings. Take care.